My name is Steve Layton, and I travel the world finding amazing and delicious coffee for you to drink at home. Some make coffee difficult to understand and complicated, but here it's my job to make it easy and fun and tell you what's in my mug. Hello everybody and welcome to In My Mug. A pleasure to be here as always. This week I am really excited about this week's coffee because we haven't had a coffee from Peru for a very long time. 3-4 years, and then it was only one. This is the first time that we've had this coffee, and it's the first time that you're able to try it. The problem with it is, I don't know a lot about it. So there's going to be a lot of time spent looking at the cup, looking at the coffee, and also a little bit of time spent looking at Peru as a country. Before I get into it all, I should tell you that I made the semi-finals of the Brewers' Cup using a Chemex, and I'm off to Glasgow. I'll have already been by the time you're watching this, but I am competing in the UK Brewers' Cup semi-finals, and if I do well enough, I can go through to the finals, and if I do well enough there, I can go and compete in the Worlds. I have a history of never winning, and I think I may have decided not to win by what I'm doing. Something a little controversial, but we shall see. But yeah, you know my love of the Chemex. It's one of my favourite brewing methods. It's just so easy and delicious, and yeah, a beautiful item too. Let's talk about the coffee. So I have notes. Again, purely because I don't know so much about this coffee. It's been chosen from the cupping table. Peru is the 8th biggest producer of coffee in the world, and has an amazing amount of coffee. The problem with it is, and I say problem, in the late 90s, or early 90s, mid 90s, USAID, who do great work in coffee, fixed pretty much the Rwandan coffee industry, have done lots of work everywhere else. In their infinite wisdom, went in and helped everybody become certified organic. Now, I like organic. I don't like chemicals. I like my things not to have chemicals. And actually, most coffee doesn't use chemicals. Most farmers don't put poisons into their ground. It's kind of pretty much a thing that you don't really want to do. But what happened with this was it made the coffee much more valuable. So the benefit of having specialty was vastly reduced. Also, a lot of specialty roasters like myself aren't that bothered in organic certification. I'd rather pay for quality in the cup. It's much easier if you're just organic certified to get the money that you get in there and not do anything to improve quality. So it meant that for me, I looked at the quality of coffee coming from Peru is fairly low, and the output is virtually all organic, which means that he has a different market for it to go to. There are projects like this project, and this is in the Cajamara region of Peru, not deepest, darkest Peru, which really made me sad. I wish it was. I wish Paddington was involved in making this one. But with one of our importers, they've been working very closely with a group of farmers there, picking out microlots. This one comes from a farm called Flor de Café. I think that this is a co-op, but I can't find out from my information that it is a co-op. And it's probably the first Peru that I've scored over 88 on a cupping table in a very, very long time. Why don't we go and look at this week's map bit, and we'll come back and taste this coffee. Oh, I'm so excited by this week's map bit. We're going to a new country. How exciting is this? We are there at the continent of South America, and we are going to deepest, darkest Peru. And we have a fact. Peru has some of the best surfing in the world. Chicama and Pascayama claim to have the world's longest rideable waves at 1.5 miles, or 2.2 kilometres if you don't like miles. Isn't that an interesting fact? Who knew? But let's get down to Peru and let's look at that spine of mountains. I mean, it really is just amazing. And here we see Cajamarca, which is the region that this coffee is from. And we're going to zoom down, zoom down, zoom down. Now, we don't have lots of details, but we know that the nearest town is San Jose de Lourdes. So we can see it's a very, very small conurbation there. So it can't be... It can't be much different from there. Just look at that mountainous region. I just want to go to Peru. Please let me go to Peru. I wonder where Paddington lives. Anyway, the highest point is 6.768 metres above sea level. and the lowest point is Bayovar, minus 34. Yeah, that was this week's map bit. So, hopefully an interesting map bit. A little bit vague again, not knowing lots of details. So this is a Katura and Pache mix. The altitude is around about 1,800 metres above sea level. Notice me looking down at my notes while I'm doing this. And when we were cupping all of the different lots, this one jumped out at me particularly. And I really like the descriptor that I didn't come up with this one. This is a Roland and Gary thing. And they've come up with a cinder toffee. And cinder toffee is a really good descriptor for this coffee. It really does have that kind of, I'm not going to say burnt because it isn't, but like that kind of slightly cooked, caramelised kind of flavour to it. And it's absolutely delicious. The acidity is really interesting in it, and it's kind of not in your face, but I've kind of got like a pear note to it. Now, again, Roland and Gary on this one, we're going Asian pear. I don't have Asian pear as a descriptor in my tasting lexicon, so I'm going to have to go off and taste some Asian pears now, because I hate it when somebody has a descriptor, I don't. But it definitely get the pear flavour with it. It's super sweet, with that cinder toffee kind of flavour. And it's absolutely an amazing coffee. I'm really, really pleased that we've been able to find a Peru. Because I don't know so much about it, why don't we go and find out on the fact file a little bit more about it. Does anybody else feel like they're going to school to learn all about a new country? Figures may change as we may have got them wrong, but this is Peru. Peru, let's find out. Fact, Paddington, there he is. I knew he was there somewhere. 350,000 hectares devoted to coffee. So a fairly large coffee producer when you look at it that way. The 11th biggest, in fact. I didn't realise. I really didn't realise. Total coffee production, 3.2 million bags. So a lot of organic coffee coming out of there. Common varietals, we've got Typica, we have Caturra, we have Bourbon. Very, very typical coffee varieties. Typical coffee varieties. Coffee's grown between 1,200 and 2,000 metres above sea level. Average fare, if you like now. We have one farm we work with. This is it. Singular farm, but it's great to be doing something in Peru, and it's called La Flor de Café. Varietal is Caturra Pache. It is a washed. It's owned by Apilinar Arevalo, altitude 1,800 metres above sea level. Nearest town is San Jose de Lourdes, and that is the fact file. So we're back, and I've got the espresso, and I'm very much looking forward to this. That sweet cinder toffee I'm really hoping comes through. It does, a little. But I'm getting much more like a dark, high cocoa-based chocolate. There's a little bit of cinder toffee there still. That pear-like acidity is still there, but it's much more dark chocolate in that one, which makes me excited for this one, because this one should be a lot more. I'm going to drink this, and while you're away, you can hear Roland's Daft Fact and hear my thoughts about it when you come back. The TV presenter Jeremy Clarkson was the first person to have a teddy bear of Paddington Bear. He's from Peru, you know. Roland's interesting fact is indeed incredibly interesting. I don't know how I know this, but I know it's a thing. So Jeremy Clarkson's parents used to make stuffed toys like this one. And for Christmas, him and his sister got the first ever Paddington Bear that was made from the books. And this is my Paddington Bear. I love Paddington. This is why I want to like Peru. I want to go to Peru so I can see Paddington. Cappuccino, Toffee City. Like Toffee City. It's a beautiful cappuccino. Like, it truly is a beautiful cappuccino. It's like, wow. The sweet toffee, that beautiful pear-like acidity is running through there as well. Still got to taste an Asian pear. But like, this is amazing. Best cappuccino this year. And we're in May. Wow. That's stunning. Peru does have quality coffee. You just have to search a little bit harder for it. Just like you have to search for Paddington in deepest, darkest Peru. This week's one's been weird, I'm sorry. Yeah, what can I say? Thank you very much for joining me, as always. And do remember, life is too short for bad coffee.